on, Amber. You can still apologize. We might forgive you.
Can you please state your name and business address?
It's Joel Mandel. That's Mandel. It's 8383 Wilshire Boulevard.
Oh, he's giving us his address. I think he was his phone number.
Mr. Mandel, you are here under subpoena. Is that correct? Testifying under subpoena?
Correct.
Okay. Could you please describe a little bit about your education?
Now look at Ben Chu sitting next to Johnny. I think the dynamic with Ben Chu and Johnny's cuter than Johnny and Camille. I'm team Ben and Johnny.
Background and work experience.
I'm just kidding. Shipping is cringe, guys, okay? Oh, God, I'm losing it.
Could you please describe a little bit about your educational background and work experience?
Wait, who is he?
I graduated from Brown University in 1980.
Brown, okay.
I graduated from the University of California Berkeley School of Law in 1983.
Okay.
I went to work for a law firm in Century City from 83 to 87.
Wait, did I miss his introduction?
Called Wyman, Boutzer, Rothman, Kegel, and Silver.
Or are you going to tell us?
And I left in March of 87 to form this company with my brother.
Link it.
Could you please describe a little bit about your experience in the field?
Or put in the Discord.
Of the business management, the types of clients represented, your reputation in Hollywood, business field?
Oh, it's a business manager?
I'll cut to where we are today. You can ask me different questions. I mean, we're a full, what I would describe as a full-service business management firm, which means that we provide a wide array of financial, administrative, advisory kinds of services. We pay bills and we do tax returns, and we assist people with purchases.
Oh, wait. Is this the business manager that mishandled Johnny's money? So remember how in 2016, the night of Amber's birthday, where she shit on his bed afterwards? Johnny Depp was meeting with the new business manager, Ed White, the guy who testified on stand, by the way. That guy was hilarious. He testified saying that he had to redo Johnny's finances because he discovered that his previous business manager was fucking him over and stealing money from him. I think this might be them. Let's see. Johnny Depp's already ugly legal battle with former business managers getting even more personal. La 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 la. Depp sued in January claiming TMG. Oh, and his principals, Joel and Robert Mandel, treated his money as their own and cost him millions. The Mandels countersued, claiming Depp knew he was short on funds but continued to spend at a breakneck pace. Okay, so they're in a lawsuit. Okay, all right.
Of cars and boats and art and planes and we help people with outside professionals on estate planning matters, and we work with brokers on house purchases and with contractors on renovations, and so it's a wide range of financial, primarily financial services, but financial and personal services that we provide to our clients.
And what types of clients are those?
The business, our business is primarily entertainment. So I don't have a percentage. My guess is it's probably something like 80%. But that means people that work in the entertainment business, broadly speaking.
How long have you been a business manager in LA?
Since 1987.
When did you first meet Mr. Depp?
In, I believe, 1999.
So if you could take us to make this run a little more smoothly, start with what you provided in the earlier time, and if it changed over time, just kind of take me through if that's possible.
Let me do my best job. I would describe things initially as being the way I described our services generally. I mean, the broad range of things that we do for all of our folks, we did for Mr. Depp. What changed was that reasonably early on, so within the first few years, his life and career exploded in size.
AOL American Online.
You know, as I said, our relationship started in '99. I think he did the first Pirates film in 2003, and so, you know, it had already he was on a very successful trajectory. The success of the Pirates films obviously catapulted him to an entirely different level of success. And that was a career thing. It was also a financial thing. And so there was money made from the Pirates movies, and all of a sudden what he was going to now make moving forward was going to be significantly greater. His life changed. And so what did that translate? That translated into a variety of things. And I don't want to mix dates. It's a long stretch of time. But that meant a bigger life. It meant more employees. It meant buying additional real property. It meant buying additional personal property. It meant a bigger life and more expensive life.
Can you please describe for me the day-to-day logistics of communicating with Mr. Depp relating to your services?
Hi, Jess. Thank you for the Prime sub. So I wasn't even listening to him, guys. I zoned out. What did he say? That was weird. I'm sorry. I'm going to re-listen to this again.
Sure. So I'll explain this, but early on,
re-listen.
Mr. Depp had made it clear that, just as my initial introduction to him had been through his sister, that
enjoy
his
your
sister
Prime
was
sub, enjoy your
acting
emos and badge.
in a what I would call a gatekeeper-like role, and that she was going to play an instrumental part of his life in interfacing with people like me, like his agents, like his lawyers, and so there was interface on a constant basis with Christie in the role that he sort of placed her in. The conversations and communications were constant and daily. With Mr. Depp, they were when they needed to be. And so we talked often, we met often, but not with the same kinds of frequency, the daily kinds of frequency that I communicated with Christie.
Please describe the challenges presented in serving as the business manager for Mr. Depp.
Look, they changed over time. And so the challenges early on were the exciting challenges of somebody whose life and career were getting, very big very quickly. And that's a professional challenge, but it's a lovely, wonderful professional challenge. That means someone's traveling a lot. They're, again, the income and expense grown dramatically. There's more staff. There are more real properties.
Damn, they accused him of. So apparently there was like a whistleblower in his company that outed him and like the other business manager, I guess. And they accused him of falsely notarizing fake documents and altered numbers in the financial statements. And she refused to do it. Damn, come on. Johnny seems like a nice guy. Come on, guys. Stop stealing his money. I'm sure he's paying you guys pretty well, right?
It exponentially grows the size of
She claims that one of the instructions was to notarize Depp's signature on a document when he wasn't present. I have no idea what the transaction was for. It was only the signature pages, so I couldn't tell. Damn.
Of the job. But that's what I do for a living. So that's, all changes and challenges, but good changes and good challenges. My sense of the challenge of this representation and my description of the challenge would change probably sometime around 2010. I say that because it was the time after he had shot the film Run Diaries, and he had come back from that picture, and what had always been slightly difficult difficulty in arranging meetings became.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is it. Sorry, this is his testimony's not juicy. This article was juicy. Damn. Okay, so this was the business meeting. So the night that Johnny was late to Amber's party and she threw a fucking fit, he was meeting with Ed White. So Mr. Depp's forensic accountants, Ed White and Co., and Miriam Fisher, head of the tax department at blah, 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 have independently verified many of the whistleblower's most damning allegations. One is that Joel Mandel apparently altered financial statements before they were submitted to the banks. The Mandels' purpose in securing over $75 million in bank loans in Mr. Depp's name was to use the loans to pay themselves and Mr. Depp's entertainment lawyer over $70 million in improper contingent fees and shovel out nearly $10 million to third parties as sham loans without Mr. Depp's knowledge. The idea that Mr. Depp borrowed 1 cent to pay one TMG and his entertainment lawyer Jake Bloom without his knowledge is libelous and beyond outrageously false, says Comp. At trial, Depp will be proven a liar and a fraud. Are they done with this trial? Further, TMG spokesman says that Mandel was afraid to defy Dombrowski's absurd and question why Depp would want Rayborn's testimony to be public while fighting that. I guess like they fired back saying like, oh, your sister was also spending your money too without telling you. And like, but they said there was only 2 occasions where the sister used the money without Johnny's like, okay. It was for the daughter's wedding and the trips and a new pool. Jeez. Is this the ongoing lawsuit? I know Johnny has another ongoing lawsuit. Damn. All right, sorry. Okay, back to this guy.
More difficulty. And what I had always
experienced. Oh, they reached a settlement?
As,
what happened?
Someone who liked to enjoy his wine at the end of the day became consumption that seemed excessive. And the ability to coordinate and find times when he would meet became more difficult. And it became clear over time that there were issues with alcohol and drugs. And that translated into more erratic behavior, more stressful behavior, more times when it was difficult to engage in the kinds of conversations.
Oh, Depp unceremoniously. Sorry, I'm reading the rest of the article now. Okay. Depp unceremoniously ended his relationship with TMG in 2016, Amber's birthday time, shortly after the firm advised him to start liquidating real estate assets to pay his bills. He then hired White, who discovered the alleged misconduct while reviewing the actor's finances. Damn, Ed White, let's go. Depp claims TMG cost him $8 million in unnecessary tax penalties and fees, loaned without permission $10 million of his money of his parties close to him, secured a $12.5 million hard money loan with his residuals, and failed to repay itself for the $5 million bridge loan itself issued without his knowledge, which triggered non-judicial foreclosure proceedings on his Hollywood Hills home. While TMG maintains it did everything it could to keep the star financially afloat, and Depp was aware of the situation. Interesting. What's the settlement? Is that public? All right, back. Okay, I'm done.
I needed to do my job, and so it became more of a challenge for a variety of those reasons after 2010. And quite frankly, the other thing that happened, and this is in 13, 14, his meteoric sort of career rise had started to, there were some pictures that were not well received.
Keanu's clean?
And for anybody in the business, whether you're an actor, director, if you're only judged by your last picture, and there were a number of pictures in a row that were not successful. And so there was a combination of events, what felt like professional pressures, what felt like some professional dissatisfactions, what I sensed was likely strains in his relationship with Amber, the use of alcohol and drugs, made my job more challenging.
You indicated that you were having more difficulty arranging meetings. What, if any, role did increased use of alcohol or drugs have on your ability to be able to arrange and engage in meetings with Mr. Depp?
There were stretches of time when it appeared clear to me that the use of alcohol and drugs was a daily event. And so there were obviously various times when I needed to communicate directly with Mr. Depp. And so some of my conversations with the people I've described involved finding good days and good parts of days when he and I could engage in conversations that he and I needed to engage in. where I knew he would be clear-minded and sober.
All right. So were there any periods that you can recall between 2010 and the end of your relationship with Mr. Depp that Mr. Depp had any periods of sobriety?
There were certainly stretches of time when he seemed better. There were days and weeks there were stretches of time when he was better, and I couldn't tell you dates, but there were stretches of time when he was better, and more often not.
As the business manager, you would have been responsible for paying Dr. Kipper's expenses. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you recall approximately how much per year Mr. Depp spent on Dr. Kipper and his staff?
I think the fee was around $100,000 a month.
Describe for me what you observed of Mr. Depp engaging in what you would call erratic behavior.
What I mean are a variety of ways.
That's all they got, Wedge.
In which responses to things seem disproportionate to the things. And so, there were times when he would be upset about something, and he would be very, very, very upset about something, seemingly to me disproportionate to that something. Again, erratic is a funny word. I felt like things were less predictable. I felt like it,
Oh my God, I fucked up. What happened?
Did Mr. Depp spend any money on charities? Habits became...
Where was I?
The relationship began to be impacted in 2015 and was eventually obviously severed in 2016. Employees chastised.
Where am I? Shit.
My experience was that Mr. Depp became increasingly less constrained, less concerned with whether he was going to upset someone's feelings, or just increasingly comfortable venting in an aggressive way when he was upset or disappointed about something.
And did that increase over time, beginning, I think you said around 2010?
It began to change in about 2010, and it increased over time, and increased to the point where our relationship began to be impacted in 2015 and was eventually obviously severed in 2016.
Wait, who was paying attention?
When Mr. Depp would
Did we listen to this already?
express his anger and upset, did he use profanity?
Did he use profanity?
Sure.
Did you observe any increase in Mr. Depp's expressions of anger and upset associated with any increase in financial difficulties or having to discuss financial difficulties?
Yes.
Elaine said earlier, has Mr. Depp ever been mad before?
His financial circumstances in 2015 had reached a point where I was extremely concerned and was on a very, very regular basis expressing that concern. And it seemed as I increased my level of expressing that concern, there was anger directed in my direction. And so my warnings in 2015 that we were in very dire financial circumstances were not met very favorably.
So did there come a time that you observed as Mr. Depp's business manager that his spending habits became more increased, perhaps excessive, extravagant?
Yes.
And when did you observe that? When did that begin?
Again, in the time frame I've described in that 2010 and on time frame,
Elaine?
As I recall, income was very significant. Spending was very significant. And the spending levels had grown very, very, very large. and required that.
Dude, I'm glad they're cutting. They just cut it out because it's unnecessary. Good thing that they're cutting out, because you know what? If it was a lot longer, we'd all be like,
level of incredibly high income to be maintained, and when it dropped off,
and probably Jan.
the
It probably got cut
disconnect
off.
became untenable.
January.
And what, if anything, did you say or do to try to assist Mr. Depp in curbing that spending?
Those conversations were constant.
Why is
Were
this
Nathan Holmes,
relevant?
Kevin Murphy, and Stephen Deuters part of the $300,000 a month full-time staff?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Nathan Holmes, Kevin Murphy, and Stephen Deuters part of the $300,000 a month full-time staff?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, Nathan Deuters and Kevin Murphy, did they get $300,000 each, or $300,000 like 150? Because goddamn, Johnny pays his people well. Remember Kate James? Kate James was like struggling. She was getting like $25 an hour because Amber wouldn't pay her more. And then when she went full time, she was struggling to get like $50,000 a year salary.
Do you know roughly how much each of them were paid?
Oh.
It's been a long time. If I had to guess, Kevin Murphy was probably paid about $250,000 a year, and Stephen and Nathan probably about $125,000 a year.
Damn!
Do you know how much Jerry Judge was being paid by Mr. Depp as a security guard?
We paid Jerry by the day. I think Jerry made something like $10,000 a day.
Damn! Johnny paying his people well. Amber over here is like, I guess you'll get $25 an hour. $50,000 fine. Damn, Johnny.
Did Mr. Depp spend any money
And yes, Johnny did make a fuck ton more money, but Amber, she seemed kind of cheap.
on charities?
All right, guys. I'm quitting stream. All right, I'm gonna hit up Johnny. I'm like, yo, Johnny, give me a job. Give me a job.
Some,
Johnny!
not very much.
And approximately how much?
I'll chop up your cocaine lines for you.
No specific recollection.
I'll clean your credit
Less
cards for
than
you.
50,000?
Sorry. Okay.
I
I'm
don't
talking over
recall.
him. Okay,
Right.
sorry. I'm talking. Let me shut up.
No specific recollection.
Less than 50,000?
I don't recall writing large charity checks. It was more his style to show up at an event or sort of lend his name to something rather than write checks.
Mr. Mandel, did Mr. Depp ever acknowledge that he needed to change his spending patterns and improve the situation?
Yes. At various times when we would have these conversations, he would acknowledge that he understood what was being communicated and would make expressions of a commitment to sort of work with me to do what was necessary.
And were there occasions that Mr. Depp would apologize and say he was going to do better?
That happened on occasion, yes.
And what, if any, observations did you make about whether Mr. Depp ultimately did improve and work with you to try to get his spending under control?
That never seemed to happen. And so there would be, at times, expressions of appreciation, expressions of an understanding, expressions of a willingness to do what was necessary. But there never seemed to be any follow through when the things would be, teed up that had to happen to make those, words real. There was no follow through.
Now, let's talk about the tax returns for a moment. Did you and TMJ file tax returns on Mr. Depp and his company's behalves while you were his business manager?
Yes.
Are you aware that Mr. Depp testified under oath that you did not file his tax returns for 17 years?
I think it was 13
I'm
years.
aware that you're telling me.
Is it true that you did not file his tax returns or those on behalf of his company for 17 years?
No, that's not true.
Were there times that you were unable to pay some or all of Mr. Depp's taxes on time? What is your understanding of what or his numerous other vices meant?
The use of alcohol and drugs.
Do you know how much Mr. Depp spent on prescription drugs during the time that you were his business manager?
There were periods of time when prescription spending was, from just my experience, very high, thousands of dollars a month, but I can't tell you the time periods.
Yeah, Amber should have been like, oh yeah, Johnny Depp was like very frustrated with his financials and he beat me and like put his frustrations out on me. Then maybe that's why this testimony would make sense. But like, I don't know, they were just talking about like just dumb shit right now.
Do you have a recollection of
Like, okay, mismanaged
whether,
money, doesn't donate a lot to charity, okay.
TMG had to pay for property damage at other rental properties or hotel properties that Mr. Depp used because of damage to the property?
Specifics, no, but did we pay damages at various times over the years? Absolutely, yes.
And do you recall that Mr. Depp from time to time did commit property damage in the rentals that he was in or hotels? And you recall that there were times you did have to pay for damage to Mr. Depp's rentals, is that correct, or hotels?
There were times.
Okay. Now, you had testified a little bit earlier about needing $25 million by the end of the year. Are you aware of whether Mr. Depp was able to sign on for any movies and obtain $25 million by the end of the year without the assistance of a lending entity? So the first time that you as the business manager were unable to pay Mr. Depp's taxes by October 15 was October 15, 2015. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you consider that to be an increasingly difficult and alarming situation that you were trying to resolve into late January 2016. Is that correct?
You in the mic again.
That's correct.
I showed you earlier exhibit number 8, which was the video clip of Mr. Depp slamming doors and pouring wine, etc., in the kitchen. Do you recall that video?
I recall the video, yes.
Okay.
He was assaulting
cabinets. Do you have a recollection of giving Mr. Depp very bad news the morning of February 10, 2016?
I don't recall a specific meeting with a specific date. As I've indicated, there were a variety of meetings in groups and conversations alone and in groups regarding how these very dire financial circumstances were going to be addressed. And as I've indicated, the tone of these conversations became more tense as time went on, and these issues were not big.
Vodka bottle box behind him,
and is
2 lotions, and he's got a frat cup too. Some of these red cups.
2016, the conversations that you have just described were taking place.
I'll answer even more specifically. Mr. Depp and I began having conversations that took on a more heated turn in July of 2015, when it became clear that he was not willing to sell the property in the south of France. And the tone of those conversations became more heated and more contentious as time went on. Because
got
the
2 bottles of lotion.
were more dire.
Got some vodka. What is it? Aviv vodka?
And would it be fair to say that your perception
Why do people have red cups?
Circumstances continued to become more dire between July 2015
is this his office?
up through the time of your termination in March 2016?
Where we at? Hi, lady.
They did.
How did you learn of TMG's termination?
The witness is playing beer pong after this.
Edward White had a colleague, an employee, a CPA, someone in his office came to our office physically and hand-delivered a letter.
And who was the letter from?
I think they hand delivered like one letter on the 15th and one
It
on the 16th.
looks like it. I have Cetaphil.
So there was a letter signed by
What else
Mr.
we got
Depp
back there?
indicating that our services had been terminated. And then there was a letter from Edward White's office, I recall,
Something else back there.
saying that they were the new people and we should coordinate a transition.
Yeah.
Did you have any familiarity with Edward
Sanitizer?
White as of the time of the termination?
Lysol wipes?
I had not heard of him.
A megabyte of
Mr. White
lotion and
accept your
alcohol.
offers of assistance?
Really?
For the most
Cetaphil's
part,
not even
no.
like looby though.
Now, approximately how much did Mr. Depp earn during the period of time you represented him?
Is it? I use Cetaphil
I
for
recall
like
the
because I
amount being
have dry
reported
sensitive
to
skin.
be something like $600 million. And
Got a mug back there.
believe that amount was probably,
Some water.
close to that.
Did you steal $650 million from Mr. Depp?
No,
Did you steal anything from Mr. Depp?
no,
Mr. Mandel, did TMG or you take any money other than the fees
Oh, he'll be cross examined. Yeah.
that you were entitled to from Mr. Depp?
no,
Mr. Mandel, were you ever found adjudicated by any court, any kind of legal entity, any agency to have committed malpractice, malfeasance, or embezzlement?
no.
Wait, did Johnny Depp's lawyers already talk to? I was paying attention.
All right, well, we go ahead and take our morning recess at this point. Still
Elaine's like, we're screwed.
Again, court is still in session, if we could. Court is still in session. Thank you.
Hey, yo, shut the fuck up. Penny's talking. Amber's like,
All right, we'll go ahead and take a recess then until 11:15. Is that work? All right, thank you. All right, recess.
why is it looking like? Because he is. Well, I think it's because if you're on your laptop, probably you're probably gonna be like all up on the screen trying to read the font and shit. Dude, what the fuck? All right, my notes from that guy. It says I have to re-listen to the whole thing pretty much. I wrote re-listen. Read article by Joe Mandel. Oh yeah, she asked, did Mr. Depp use profanity? We got his estimate pay for the staff, $250,000 to, did he say Ben King? $125K to assistant. Johnny Depp didn't really pay money to charity, he says. He liked to show up. It said that the bodyguard, Jared Judge, maybe got $10K a day. We don't know if that's true or not. And then zoom in lotion red cup. That's all I got. That's all I got. Oh no. That's all Amber has. I thought Amber was gonna bring some good shit. All right, so I'm gonna read you guys some stuff really quick. All right. I think it's gonna be more interesting than listening to whatever the fuck else we were just listening to. Let's talk about the lawsuit. Johnny Depp settles $25 million lawsuit against the management group. So this is Joe Mandel, the guy that was just on the screen, and his brother, I guess. Johnny Depp has settled his $25 million lawsuit against his former business manager, the TMG management group. His representative confirmed to CBS News that the actor and the business managers reached a settlement. The terms of the agreements are confidential. Depp's lawsuit accused TMG of fraud, theft, malfeasance, and his mismanagement of his business and financial interests. Yo, man, Ed White looks like he knows what he's doing. All right, guys, if you guys ever win the lottery, if I ever win the lottery, we're going to hit up Ed White. Ed White's going to be our business manager. A spokesperson for Depp said Johnny Depp is pleased to have achieved a settlement agreed with the management group following the legal action he took against the company in 2017. The lawsuit taken out against the management group and the subsequent settlement is further demonstration that Johnny is determined to take firm action to protect his personal and artistic reputation, the interests of the family, and his career. You know what? Good for Johnny. Johnny's like, you know what? Fuck all these people who are trying to screw me over. Sue them all. Because during this time, it was suing his business manager. And then when the Sun article came out, tried to sue them. When Amber Heard wrote that op-ed, sued her. Damn, Johnny. I don't know if does he even have money to sue these people? Like Johnny at this point doesn't even give a fuck, man. He just wants to make sure that they know that they fucked up. Hi, Sharma. How are you doing today? The lawsuit taken out against the management group and the subsequent settlement is a further demonstration that Johnny is determined to take firm action to protect his. Oh, I already read that. I'm sorry. My bad. The statement also said Depp is thankful to his fans and excited to focus energy on his work for J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts. Yikes. TMG had no comment. A close source to the litigation told CBS News that TMG is pleased with the settlement. Recently, in an interview with Rolling Stones, Depp talked about his legal battle with TMG, run by the brothers, Robert and Joel Mandel. Joel Mandel was the one that was just talking just now. Depp said that the brothers cost him $6 million in fees after they failed to pay his taxes on time for 13 years. The Mandels hit back that they were not able to pay the taxes on time because Depp was cash poor. But aren't you the one who's handling his money and shit? It's kind of weird. Depp also complained that Mandel's paid his sister $7 million and his assistant $750,000 without telling him, and let his family in Kentucky spend exorbitant amounts of money. However, Depp also bragged to Rolling Stone that TMG's countersuit lowballed some of his purchases. He said, "It's insulting to say that I spent $30,000 on wine because it was far more." Yeah, how much was Amber drinking again? $500 wine bottle? He added that they also got the price wrong for one of his most outlandish. Oh, did you guys hear about this? Johnny Depp, when his friend passed away, he shot his friend out of like a cannon or something. He added that he got the price wrong for one of his most outlandish outlays, paying to shoot the ashes of his friend, the late writer Hunter S. Thompson, into the sky. By the way, it was not $3 million to shoot Hunter in the fucking sky, Depp said. It was $5 million. Damn. Johnny loves his peoples, man. He loves his friends. He fucking loves his people. Holy shit. Oh, thanks, Sharma. Thank you. Thank you. Ew, J.K. Rowling. We like her books, though. We like her books.